The moon hung low in the ink-black sky, casting an eerie glow over Priscilla's family estate. The garden, once vibrant and teeming with life during the day, now lay shrouded in shadows. Pricilla, a young woman with a penchant for solitude, found herself alone in the garden at the stroke of midnight. The air was thick with an unnatural stillness, and the usual symphony of crickets had fallen silent. Priscilla's steps echoed through the narrow pathways as she wandered deeper into the heart of the garden. The moonlit flowers seemed to wilt, their petals drooping as if mourning the departure of daylight. A cold breeze whispered through the branches of gnarled trees, creating unsettling rustling sounds that made Priscilla's skin crawl. She couldn't shake the feeling that unseen eyes were watching her every move. Ignoring the rising sense of unease, she continued her solitary journey. As she reached the old fountain at the center of the garden, Pricilla noticed the water shimmering in the moonlight. Strange, distorted reflections danced across the liquid surface, revealing ghostly figures that mirrored her every step. The faces of these spectral entities seemed frozen in anguish, as if trapped in a perpetual nightmare. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted, and Priscilla's breath materialized in the frigid air. The garden's once familiar contours transformed into a labyrinth of twisted pathways, disorienting her. Panic gripped her heart as the moon cast elongated shadows that seemed to reach out like skeletal fingers. A haunting melody echoed through the garden, a mournful tune that sent shivers down Priscilla's spine. It was as if the very soul of the garden lamented its descent into darkness. Desperate to escape, she quickened her pace, only to find the path ahead stretching endlessly into the abyss. In the pale glow of the moon, Pricilla glimpsed a silhouette, a shadowy figure that flitted between the trees. The air grew heavy with a palpable malevolence, and the haunting melody intensified, echoing through the twisted corridors of the garden. A cold hand brushed against Priscilla's shoulder, and she whirled around to find herself face to face with a specter from the past. The ghostly figure, with hollow eyes and a mournful expression, reached out as if pleading for release from an eternal torment. Terror seized Pricilla as she realized the garden was a realm caught between the living and the dead. The once beautiful sanctuary had transformed into a nightmarish purgatory, and she was an unwitting intruder in a spectral drama. Desperation clawing at her, Pricilla stumbled backward, attempting to flee the garden's haunted embrace. The twisted trees seemed to close in, their skeletal branches reaching for her like phantom hands. The haunting melody reached a crescendo, drowning out Priscilla's terrified gasps. As the clock struck the unholy hour, Priscilla's scream echoed through the garden, joining the chorus of tormented souls that lingered in the shadows. The moon bore witness to her descent into the abyss, leaving the garden to reclaim its solitude in the spectral stillness of the night.